You are watching the DeadfootDiver Diver podcast with Curt the DeadFoot Diver.
DeadfootDiver Diver podcast, where we talk about everything diving, scuba diving, and tech diving, and also the benefits of diving with disabilities. So today, I'm actually very pleased to have on my show one of the first people that I found when I was researching about diving for adaptive divers, and that is Lindy Legett from the Scuba Gym in Australia. How's it going, Lindy?
It's going great. Thank you, Curtis. Thanks for having me.
Well, greatly appreciated for having you on. I mean, I first stumbled across you while checking out YouTube videos on adaptive diving. And I actually did not even know that scuba therapy existed.
And then the world changed for you and you met David and myself and Junior. I believe you also had a chat to Junior.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Wonderful.
Junior is amazing. I mean, I cannot believe how much that kid, any of you guys who are watching right now didn't watch the episode with Dave Jr. and Dave, check it out because they're awesome. He actually was fully quadriplegic, correct?
Yeah.
And I mean, that guy can run, he can do anything. He's a full tech instructor, including rebreathers, which just blows my mind.
Yeah.
So,
well, he was an able-bodied kid until he had the tumor removed from his brainstem, and that put him in a chair and labeled him a quadriplegic, which is a pretty tough diagnosis. And a doctor's got to be fairly certain about it when he is going to give a label to a kid of that magnitude. And his mum and dad did everything to help him to be whole again. And lo and behold, Scuba Gym was formed.
Yeah, which is amazing. I mean, I cannot believe the stuff that I have been finding and seeing since I've been doing this podcast about the benefits of it for people diving with disabilities, just even doing the pool therapy portion of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So can you tell me how you first got into this and what got you interested in running the Scuba Gym?
Sure. I was at a bit of a crossroads in my life. I was looking to do something that helped people in a fundamental way, in a profound way. So I had done leadership training and lots of that sort of personal development training before. I'd worked in corporate world for a long time as a trainer, corporate trainer. And I wasn't enthralled by helping a big company become more well off because of the training we were doing. I was more interested in personal development. How do we develop as people? And because I've always asked questions of my own life and gone on my own journey of discovery, I was in a leadership training company. It wasn't taking off as fast here in Australia as it was in the US. And I was just getting frustrated that it just wasn't happening fast enough. Every 4 months to do a course was rubbish. We needed to do them every month. Anyway, at that point, careful what you ask of the universe, because up on social media, I saw the video that David put together of the Scuba Gym. And the timing was perfect, of course. Universe went, here you go. You want a challenge? You want to be a leader? You want to teach leaders? You be the leader. So I reached out to David and said, I'd love what you do. Can we have a conversation? I'm in Australia. And that's it, really. That's where it all kicked off. And long story short, that was in 2018. In 2019, I opened the Scuba Gym here in Australia. And we were running for probably 8 months. We managed to get into about 12 publications, including international. We had been picked up by a couple of little news feeding outlets like BuzzFeed News. It was quite big, really. Beautiful News in South Africa came out and filmed us, which was pretty special. And then the pantomime kicked in and the lockdowns happened and the pools were shut. So it's been a roller coaster since the beginning, and the roller coaster the ride keeps getting wilder. We've had some more challenges here in Australia this year, which is, anyway, we're getting through it. We're getting through it.
So During the pandemic, I mean, you guys, how long were you guys locked down for in Australia? Because I know us in Canada, we had some pretty strict lockdowns as well.
Oh, it was insane here. We had mandates and lockdowns. The pools were shut. They were shut for a while, open for a while, but all in all, it was about 3 years.
Wow, 3
Yeah,
years to get back to normal. That's
yeah.
insane.
And then we had to convince people it's okay to get back in the pool. It was like starting again. So I had changed from being a for-profit company to being a not-for-profit. So now I had a board. I used that time quite well. I thought anyway, it was a good time to change the business, change the model somewhat by following in David's lead. He wanted us to be a charity, which is crazy expensive to have lawyers do that for you. But we'll come back to that in a minute. So I became a not-for-profit. I found people to help me. And we also put out the Scuba Warrior program because my father was a veteran. I'm a child of a veteran. My dad never came back with PTSD, thank goodness, but my uncle did. And the whole family suffered because of poor Uncle Ra, what he went through. He was ambushed on the 23rd of November, 1977. His jaw was nearly entirely blown off. He was holding it in place as they put him on a stretcher and helicoptered him back to Harare Hospital. And so 15 years later, to the exact same day, my oldest cousin was killed in a horrific car crash on the same day. Same day. Like
Wow.
of all days of the year.
Yeah.
It does affect the whole family. 4 years ago, his youngest son, Trevor, he was involved in a motorbike crash. He nearly broke his back the day after. It was the 24th of November. What the hell?
No way.
Absolutely. So, I get it. We all knew, and poor Uncle Ra went through hell. And then when Lee was killed, it triggered him again. His career went up and down, and it's just been a horrible journey, really, that if we had treated PTSD back then the way it can be treated now, we would have a different outcome. Perhaps my cousin would still be alive today. Who knows? So I knew I had to have a way for veterans, for first responders, for people suffering with PTSD to benefit from scuba, because as you well know, you get into that space of the quiet, the peace of mind, the traumas go because you're in nature. You're now horizontal, not vertical, so you're in a new dimension is the best way to describe it. And if we can work them out in the pool doing that, or if we take them and teach them to learn to dive and then come back and help us, people like first responders and veterans, they're wired to serve. It's in their DNA. So we give them opportunities to do that using our gear for free, so they get to practice their diving, but also be contributing to something much bigger than them by helping our disabled clients. Or we do cleanup dives every month. Unlike Paddy, who run one once a year and make a big song and dance out of Paddy Awareness Day, we do it once a month, and we've pulled nearly 7 tons of rubbish out of our waterways. That's amazing, because if we hadn't done it, it'd still be there. 7 tons of rubbish. Yeah.
Wow. That's insane.
Yeah, it's insane. And it's the amount that we're pulling out is getting less, which is great. That's a good thing. So last Friday, we pulled only 200 kilos. But before,
Wow.
there's a picture of the barge that we use, the Clean for Shore barge, and there's a fabulous picture. I think it's on my website. And there's a ton of rubbish on that barge in that one photo. 1 ton. In one dive. There were about 4 or 5 of us diving that day, and we pulled mattresses up and pot plants with the plants still in them. Just people are vile. Some people are just gross. Satellite dishes, I get that. They fall off the roofs of the boats. But, it's if more people can get on board and contribute in this way, it'd be a better place for our little fishes, which means the environment will be better, which means we'll be better. So
yeah, that's an
that's what
insane
it's
amount of
about.
trash to pull out in one day.
Yeah, so that was Scuba Warriors. That came out in the lockdowns, and it was a great thing to do because I love diving, and I didn't stop diving in the lockdowns in the open water. So I kept going. I kept teaching those people who wanted to learn, but set up Scuba Warriors and found amazing people in the veteran space who got on board very quickly and have promoted and shared what we do to their wider audiences. So it's grown slowly but surely, and that's cool. Slow growth is good growth. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Oh, and so we have been back in the pool for since 2022, 23, and have grown to have another site. We now operate out of Olympic Park, which is it is the pool that was built for the Olympics back in 2000, the 2000 Olympics. I wasn't here at the time, but so it is the most beautiful pool in Australia, in my opinion. It's the dive pool that the Olympians dived into, which, water holds memory. So let's remember that when we take our disabled clients down there, and maybe the memories in the water will transfer. Wouldn't that be cool?
That's amazing, though. I mean, it does it for PTSD. It is amazing how much it helps with PTSD. I've noticed it myself the last 2 years that I've been diving. In fact, my wife notices when I'm not diving in about like 2 or 3 weeks. She's like, "You need to go dive." If I get rained out or something.
She does.
We've had some bad weather. It's like, oh no. And now my dive season up here is starting to get shorter. We have about the charters finish the 12th of October. So I'm booked on every set. My wife bought me a pass this year, so I've been diving like crazy.
Wonderful. Go you.
So,
and feeling better for it, no doubt.
Oh yeah. It's been amazing. And not only that, I get relief from pain from it as well. I mean, there's absolutely no doubt about that. I'm shocked. I mean, when I first got back into diving last year, I was actually going to get into doing some serious technical diving and even potentially cave diving. I have curved my aspirations as far as that goes, just because of my extensive injuries and stuff like that. And I've also found that even though, because I used to be a professional diver and instructor and stuff, I'm even more cautious now than I used to be.
Yeah.
So, but the benefits of it are like, I can speak for myself, have been amazing. I mean, I don't have near the pain that I normally do when I've been diving, and it lasts for a couple of days.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's even diving in cold water. When I went to the Bahamas in April for a week and did a liveaboard, I was stunned. I did 19 dives in 6 days. And by the time when I left, I had not even been able to go into the pool or anything for months because we had nothing but snowstorms up here. And when I went to the Bahamas, my pain level was probably at 12 or 13 when I landed in the Bahamas. It was a bit better by the time the boat left, just because of the weather and stuff like that. But by the end of the week, my pain level was at like a 0.5. It's never, ever, ever been that low. Like I couldn't believe it when I was done diving during the week. I was like, oh my God, like I have no pain. I wish I'd lived in the Bahamas all the time.
That's right. So we have a paraplegic who comes, and he is a veteran. He was injured in the line of duty 25 years ago, makes him a paraplegic. Now he walks, but he's paraplegic. He's got a dog because he also has the PTSD stuff going on. And for 25 years, he's been battling, and he's had several surgeries. They've stuffed up the original one. So he's had to keep going back for more. And he's in pain 24/7 because he's allergic to his pain meds. He can't take pain meds. So he found us. He used to be a diver, so he loved the fact that he could come to be with people who can keep him safe, are insured, have the skill, etc., and can actually work him out. And after the first few sessions, he came out of the shower afterwards, and he walked up to one of my team and said, "So I just peed in the shower." And Ken said, "Dude, we all pee in the shower. You're all right." He goes, "No, you don't understand. I didn't have to catheterize," which means his bladder control has come back. Every time he comes, which for a 50-year-old strong dude who did some covert shit underwater in the army, like his history is incredible. And a strong guy, to have that coming back for him is massive. That's massive.
Yeah.
But more to the point about the pain, he was out of pain for every time he comes to one hour of a workout with us once a week. He's out of pain for 3 days.
3 days after 1 hour.
3 days, which means he doesn't need 3 carers. He needs 1. So he's saving the country, the government, the NDIS. He's saving them money because he's out of pain for 3 days. So every time we have a session down at Sydney, I'll let him know, because even if it's just for a different group, I'll just come, because I know how much benefit he gets from it. He's out of pain. And if you're out of pain, as you know, you sleep better. And if you sleep better, you heal better. And if you heal better, you are better. And it's just a ripple effect of having no pain. I was in sciatic pain for 2 years of my life. Absolutely excruciating. Every time I stood up, there would be this pain going down my left leg because I had a bulging disc from snowboarding. So I know how it affects everyone. It was excruciating. Flying on a plane, driving in a car, all of that was just so painful. And finally, the pain went. I managed to find somebody who could help me. But what a journey. And so I get it. I understand pain, having experienced it in my way. So yeah, we help Andrew to be out of pain for as much as we can of his life now. And he loves it. I mean, he brings his own mask. He has his own full face mask. He'd rather have it in case he blacks out. He won't stop breathing, which is fine. It's his mask. It's his, that's okay. It's a great one. It's a great full face mask. I usually don't use full face masks, but he insists, so that's fine. You can bring it. And he has a great workout underwater. You wouldn't know that he's a paraplegic.
Wow, that's amazing. And I mean, so just touching on the full face mask. So you don't use full face mask generally, right? Because I mean, Dive Heart, I know they use a lot of full face masks.
I don't.
When they do.
I have to if I have somebody with cerebral palsy. So we help all disabilities. Once you've got that medical signed off and you're good to go, we help all disabilities, everything from quadriplegia, and even a quadruple amputee has come to us to dive. Amputee, Mick.
Wow.
All the way through to able-bodied autism. And we've been able to show that we have benefited each of these different categories, each of these different diagnoses, each of these different people. So once the medical is signed off, then you're good to go. You're good to come and join us. And the cerebral palsy people, so cerebral palsy, for the complex cerebral palsy cases, they can't necessarily bite on their rig. And if they can't bite, they let water in their mouth and then they're going to choke and cough. And coughing is really hard for some of them. And choking is not an option. We don't want that. So I sometimes will use a full face mask on my cerebral palsy clients because at least I know that they can breathe. The problem I have with it is that it's black. So I can't see if it's leaking because that's all I can see is their eyes, which is a bit scary. Anyway, we have ways around that.
One of these full face companies need to come out with a clear one for doing training for people like you.
A clear, easy one to put on as well, please. Yes. There are some. They're not cheap, and we're a not-for-profit. We don't have a lot of funding. We actually are in the process of becoming a charity. A good friend of mine put me in touch with a law firm here, a big law firm here in Sydney, and they're doing it pro bono for us, which is huge. So
wow.
That's a massive tick in our box and a great giant leap forward once that comes through, because then we can get DGR status, which means we can then go to corporate world and say, you know what, we need help funding this, and your contribution will mean XYZ to our clients because we're having issues with funding at the moment here in Australia. There's an organization called the NDIS, which is a big insurance, National Disability Insurance Scheme. And if you qualify for the insurance money, you get a plan, you get help with everything. If you're in with a disability, you can apply for help with any of that. And that's how we used to get paid, because that people had funding in different parts of their plan that they could allocate towards exercise and rehab and physio. And a lot of our clients found that they got more benefit from working out with us than they did working out with the physio. And it's not to say the physio is doing anything wrong. They're not. The physios are doing a great job. But we're working underwater, as you know, in a weightless environment against the resistance of water. So we helped and proved this. We proved that we improved our quadriplegic Megan, her lung function massively by exercising her underwater. She uses a spirometer, and you have to suck like crazy in. I'm sure a lot of people know what it is. And there's 3 tubes on it, and the little ball has to flutter up. And if you've got full lung function, all 3 balls will flutter up to the top. And hers, only 1 ball in 1 tube started to flutter at the beginning. That's shoddy. So she would talk, and then have to take a breath mid-sentence because she didn't have the capacity in her lungs to finish her sentences, and her voice was quite soft. She used to be in the surf club. She was a strong swimmer, so had more presence, but wasn't able to show that because her lung function was so compromised from her MS, from her disability. But after working out with us, after a few months, she got 2 balls up in the air and the third one fluttered.
Wow.
Yeah, we've proven it. Like, we've got video footage of this happening. So, if we can get more oxygen around a body, expect miracles or magic or whatever you want to call it, because that's when stuff happens. More oxygen to parts of your body, as you know, it's going to make a difference. Plus, you're working out against the resistance of water in a dimension. You can't do that on land without getting into a pool. Like, you can't do that. We can put people on treadmills with hoists that are very uncomfortable. It takes them half an hour to get in the hoist, to then hoist them up onto a treadmill, to then start walking them. Or they can come to the scuba gym. We put them on the little hoist on the pool, put a shark skin on them, swimming them, and they're in 5 minutes tops. And they're not in any pain, and they are moving freely again, and they feel weightless. Although we are weighting them, they are feeling more weightless, and all of that tension, especially for people sat in wheelchairs in the groin area from sitting all that time, is relieved, and it's pretty special.
Yeah, that's amazing. Now, to get back to a bit about your funding issues there, I've heard that you have had some issues in Australia with your funding recently and then changing it.
They cut our funding. They said there's no evidence to support what you do. And I went, what? Here's the evidence. I sent in 2 letters.
And check out your YouTube channel, obviously.
They haven't, no. And you know what? It's not. So in this country, it's called an allied health qualification, is something like a physio or a chiro or an osteo, an OT. They all come under the allied health banner. So you've done your degree course at university and it's recognized, and there's plenty of evidence to support the work that you do to show that it benefits. Scuba therapy doesn't have any of that because we can do all of that underwater. And we're essentially qualified divers who are instructors with an adaptive cert. I certainly have some of my instructor colleagues who help me have adaptive. But more than that is, we're doing not anything, but a lot of different things with David's guidance initially to help these people to move again. And it could look like physio, or it could look like exercise physiology, or could look like both. So we're not allied health. So we don't have the allied health evidence to support what we do, but we have our own evidence. And there's plenty online to show the benefit of what we do, what being underwater does for people. But we live in a nanny state here in Australia. It's very well known that there's a lot of red tape. And so I've managed to find a way through the red tape whilst we are on our way to becoming a charity. We've done some fundraising, which was amazing. We ran a masked ball. So scuba divers. Yeah, I know. So we had, where's some pictures? Hang on a minute.
Yeah.
Isn't that gorgeous?
That's awesome.
It was stunning. And people came dressed up in black tie and a lot of crazy masks. There were scuba masks, there were swimming goggles. There were all sorts of and the effort that people went to. We had about 80, 90 people come on the worst day weather-wise. They had torrential rain that day. I was thinking, there's no way people are going to come. They're going to be rather watching telly, wrapped up on the couches with the heater or the fire blaring. But no, they came, and it was amazing. We raised a bit of money, which will get us across the line to the end of the year anyway, to subsidise it, and then hopefully by then we will have become have that status, that DGR status, and we'll be a charity by the end of the year. I'm pleased. Let's make this happen so that we can approach next year with a different approach to go to corporate world and say, hey, this is where we're at. Can you help? And I'm sure that because it becomes tax deductible for big companies to get involved, we might get a bit more help than we have had.
Oh, I'm sure, especially when they start seeing your videos and talking to some of your divers. Yeah. I mean, for sure it's going to help. I mean, you know, especially with corporate guys, and especially people backing veterans with PTSD and stuff like that. That's a no-brainer. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And by the way, we're also on your favorite podcast platforms now. We are on Amazon. We are on Spotify. We are on iHeartRadio. We are on Player FM and Podchaser. All of the descriptions are going to be down below, so make sure you check us out. Thanks. Have a great day. And remember, grab an adventure and live.
Yeah, it is, especially, and a lot of people know a veteran, or they know somebody with a disability. So there is empathy. We are hoping we get that, but also it's just, you know, I said this in my speech at the Mask Ball, and I say it every so often. The reason we do the reason I do I don't have to. You know, I'm able-bodied, and I can go back to corporate world and earn decent money. It's not fulfilling though, and the main. The reason for this is, one, I love to dive and I love to help people. And in Africa, we have an expression that is, it's one word, and it's Ubuntu. And Ubuntu means I am because you are. So if I'm stronger, you are. And if you are stronger, I am. So it's that whole tribal coming together to help the bigger picture, which is what we're about. And that's why this business model works so incredibly well. All of my team of volunteers, they do this because they want to help. And that, I strongly believe, has a lot to do with the healing process, because of the synergistic transfer of energy in the water of one human being wanting to help another complete stranger to be better. It's profound. We've had one of my clearance divers, old. He's retired clearance diver. He's in his 70s. Got very emotional when I asked him to help me with one of my quadriplegics, and because he was part of the machine, and here he is helping a younger man to be whole again. And it touched his heart so much that he welled up and he said, "Can I always help you with Matt?" I said, "Of course you can. Yeah, absolutely you can." So, you know, there's something for him. He's getting something out of it, and he's escaping from his PTSD, his traumas too, or we should call it PTSG, PTG, post-traumatic growth, not stress disorder. It's post-traumatic growth. So, yeah, it's a win-win-win. And I'm hoping that this is our year where things turn around for us big time, and we approach it differently.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, especially the fact of the impact that it's had on both your volunteers and your divers as well.
Isn't that what life's about, though? Like, we're going into the dimension where we all begun. We all started off in the magic of water, because we were all in water for 9 months of our lives, the first 9 months. So we're going back to that dimension. Yeah, I know there's chlorine in it and it's not as beautiful as mother's womb, but we're in water. And
there's more to see.
There's way more to see and lots more to do. And it's a special place. I don't think it's been researched enough, and people haven't put as much energy into, like we are. As a scuba diver, do you know that you're in a tiny percentage of the population of the planet actually dive? Like it's 1%. It's really minuscule. But 1 in 5 Australians is diagnosed. 1 in 5, that's 20% of our population, has a disability. So here we have an opportunity for that tiny percentage of the population to be helping 20% of the population and make a difference. And I think there's something to do with our own DNA, in as much as we've got the courage, the bravery, or maybe just the curiosity to go and see what's underwater and be in that space. And, you know, whatever it is, we've got a common thread that gets us into the water and keeps us underwater. And now if we can help more people like us to help more people with disabilities, I think it'll be the start of something very, well, it's already started. It's very special to be in that space. As you know.
Oh yeah. Hey, I mean, it's made a huge difference in my life, and more than I could ever imagine. I mean, even just getting to do this podcast and stuff now, and the people that I've met.
I'm sure, right? And it's amazing how your life now, if I can use this, has purpose.
Yep.
Because a lot of people lose that, especially veterans coming out and they transition and they don't civilianization is tough on some, and the identity changes, and some will thrive, but others don't. Others struggle and spiral, and that I think it's to be able to help not just our veteran people and first responders, but a lot of my team just want to be involved because it gives them a bit more purpose, which is important. It's what there's two most important days in your life: the day that you were born and the day that you figure out why.
Yep.
Right? It's what I think it was Darwin who said that, and that's always kind of resonated with me. And I guess I've always searched for that. And when I found the Scuba Gym, that was my why. It was like, oh, everything else is lined up, has prepared me for this one big project. This is one fulfilling way to help other people. That, let's be fair, it's not about money, because I assure you, you can see my accounts. We're not making a lot of money at all, but we are making. Compassion is the new currency, and we've got a lot of that in our business, and we're growing slowly. In fact, I can tell you that we will soon be opening up another scuba gym in another state of Australia, in Adelaide, very soon.
Wow, awesome.
I know, it's very exciting.
That's amazing.
Amazing. And I always wondered how we were going to do that, because my board are always saying, we need to clone you. And I'm like, yeah, we do. How do we do that? I'm not quite sure. But someone will find us. And true as, I have a very good friend who's become a very good friend, and he reached out to me in the middle of the lockdowns, and we bonded and chatted, and he was very keen, and then it went quiet. I'm like, wonder what happened down there. Oh, well, I can't force it if it's not meant to be. And then he reached out and said, I really want to do this. And then it went quiet again. And then he reached out this year and he said, right, I'm ready now. I've got it all sorted. I've got this. I've got that. So I'm like, oh, I didn't even set you the challenge. You've just done it for yourself. This is awesome. So we're excited to have somebody very, very on our page, or guess on my page, and very enthusiastic about doing this down there and helping. He's already involved in the veteran space, so that's super cool, and very qualified instructor. So I'm excited that I have nearly ticked a box as we are growing, which is super cool.
So tell me, you guys also do something with the Australia Aquarium where you guys go shark diving.
So when we came out of lockdown, people didn't come back in a hurry. It took a bit of work to get them going. And I happened to be in a networking meeting at the Sea Life Sydney Aquarium, networking with. I do that a lot because I need to get our story out there and get some help with funding, with gear, with everything. And I was at this meeting and I was sitting there watching the sharks swimming behind, not really listening to the presenter because I was just mesmerized by as you do, right? And I've done Shark Tank dives before in Cape Town. I did one. I've done them, a couple of times, and I just decided we've got to be allowed to take some of our clients in. And I reached out to the HR director who was there. She was actually presenting, and I reached out to her and I said, hey, this is what I do. I'd love to chat to you. And she was receptive to my idea, and we emailed each other, and then it all went quiet, which happens so much in this space. It's like, I finally got put in touch with somebody who got it and really understood what we're about, and asked me lots of questions. And I said, I have their medicals. I know that they can do this because I not train them. We don't teach people to dive in therapy. We help them to breathe off a regulator, but it's really about exercise. It's not about take your rig out and put it back in and blow bubbles. And it's not that. It's not teaching, because some of our clients can't even put their rigs in because they're quadriplegic. So we have to do that for them. So I said, so this is where I'm at. It wouldn't be all of my clients. It would be a select few, because they've got to get into a wetsuit, which a lot of people can't do. And we wouldn't have a wetsuit for a quadriplegic who happens to be really big. Like, that's not going to happen for him. As much as I'd love it to happen, at this point, it's not going to happen. So we have a select few people. Every so often I get new clients come in, and at the time when I was hoping to get more people in, I just thought this would be an awesome thing to do, is to set a little goal for a few. Whilst it didn't bring loads of people in, the people who weren't on the first shark dive were excited because we happened to have one of the media crews there. So there was SBS News was there, and we were featured on the 6 o'clock news across Australia, which was so exciting.
Yeah.
As the first group to be allowed to take disabled in the first two, Nathan had an acquired brain injury, and so he's able-bodied, but he has a brain injury. And Elsa has MS, and Elsa's been with me right from the get-go. And I decided that these two humans should be the first to, if they wanted to dive in with the sharks, and they were the ones on the newsreel. And then we had another client, Corey, who's also done a lot of work with us. He has cerebral palsy, and Declan is autistic, and they were in the second session in the afternoon, and it was just amazing, mate. It was, and we'll do it again. Because the aquarium uses the water from the ocean, we can't do it in winter. It's way too cold, but we can do it in December or January, and then maybe April is our last one. So we've so far had 10 divers go and see the sharks.
Wow. That's amazing.
10 of our clients. And one was Lucille, who's has complex cerebral palsy. She's in her 50s. She drives her wheelchair with her chin. She's nonverbal. And this was her goal, was always to dive in the ocean. And I said, can't take you in the ocean. Way too hard. Just, she's very, her hands are like this a lot. One is strapped to her wheelchair because of the involuntary movements, because of her cerebral palsy. But what a great goal for her. So I said, here's a better idea. How about we take you where there's guaranteed viz? It's a lot safer. The water's right there. And you don't have to dive. Exactly. You don't have to dive. You could actually snorkel, because she has a full face snorkel mask, which I can't stand those things. But and anyway, she actually came and did the diving. We stood on the lowest step and held her underwater. So she was all wetsuited up with the dive gear on, and the sharks were swimming straight in front of her. They just fed the sharks, so they weren't hungry, but they were curious. So they would swim right between us and the instructor who was watching out for us. And I was only waist deep because it was the safest place to put her, because we couldn't have her freaking out in the middle of the tank. So we kept it. Anyway, it was so special. So that was amazing to have Lucille go through and tick a really big box for her, a really big goal. She got to dive in the ocean water, but with the sharks, she got to see them up close and personal.
Which is amazing. I mean, I have always loved sharks. Until I went to the Bahamas this year, actually, the only interaction I ever had with sharks were some nurse sharks, which, I mean, nurse sharks are cool, but I wanted to see something a bit bigger than that. And so, I mean, I can't count how many times I've seen reef sharks by the end of the week when I was down there. I mean, I'll forever remember the first time I seen them, because we were coming back to the boat at the end of the dive, and there were literally 3 sharks just circling around us while we were coming back to the boat. It was so cool. I was like, oh my God.
Incredible. Out in the wild. How awesome. We have grey nose sharks at our local dive spot when the weather's nice. When it rains and gets dirty, they disappear. But hopefully they'll be back. We'll be in the water on tomorrow. I'm teaching tomorrow, so that'll be cool.
So do you mostly just have nurse sharks in the area where you guys do?
We have grey nose sharks. We have Port Jacksons, crested horn sharks, wobbegongs, big wobbegongs. We've had some big mama wobby. Well, they're the funniest looking things, but they can be quite nasty if they want to.
Really?
And other than that, we don't have anything too scary in close. Although recently there was a gentleman was down on the northern beaches, was taken by a great white just last week.
There's actually been a lot of great white sightings in Canada out on the East Coast. I'm amazed at how many they have. They actually have a dive operation out there that does cage dives on hookah.
Oh yeah.
System. So I'm eventually hopefully going to go out there. We're supposed to go this summer, and our plans changed. I've been reading, there's one bay in Nova Scotia that there's a doctor or something, and he's got a drone for a hobby. So every day he takes his drone up over the water, and he says that you get minimum 1 to 4 sharks every single day, great white sharks in this bay every single day. He catches on video.
Wow.
Yeah. And I know there was another beach there that that's not that far away that they've had multiple sightings over the last like few weeks and stuff like that.
Amazing.
So,
Wow.
I mean, I want to see a great white. I don't want to see. I would prefer to do it with a cage. The
Totally.
first time, obviously. I mean, apparently I didn't get a chance to watch the video yet, but earlier this week, actually, a couple of divers out there, there was a great white that approached them when they were diving.
Wow.
So,
yeah, I'm curious about them too. I've seen them from a cage. I've done a cage dive before in Cape Town, but he just swam past and that was it. It was very uneventful. So it was just one of those days. I think the viz was crap and it was choppy and horrible, but that was the day we had booked to do it, so we had to go. Anyway, so yeah, it's very sad that we lost somebody just recently to a great white shark just down on the northern beaches. But you know, it's their ocean.
There was actually, when I was in the Bahamas the week before, over in the Exumas, they actually had an attack that was from a bull shark that got a guy on one of those new electric surfboards.
Oh yeah.
And they figure there's apparently been a couple of attacks, so they think that now the sharks are sensing that food.
Okay.
And it's attracting them from the whizzing of the electric motors.
Something to chase. Yeah, and it's fast. We can chase that. That's a challenge. Let's do it.
I unfortunately, though, I was kind of hoping to see one bull shark down there. I didn't get to see a bull shark, so that was kind of disappointing. But I seen lots of reef sharks. We actually did a shark feed as well down there, so that was really awesome. It was like 45 minutes. I got some awesome video on my YouTube channel.
Nice.
So, I'm a huge shark nut.
Excellent. Well, do you know that you can do a cage dive up in, I think it's the Northern Territory, but you do it in a perspex cage and you get to see crocodiles.
Really?
I don't think I'll be up for that. Just saying. I have a thing about crocodiles, maybe because I'm African. Oh, yeah, no. I don't think I really want to be in a perspex box.
I would do it. I would do it in a cage. I would do it in a cage for sure. I mean, when I lived in Florida in the 90s, I got asked actually if I wanted. I had a guy ask me if I wanted to do some work in a canal for him the one time, and he was going to pay me like $600 at the time. It was a lot of money. I was like, all right. I said, and what am I doing? And he's like, oh, just doing this, blah blah blah. I forget. It wasn't anything major, but it was going to take me an hour or two. And the guy's like, I said, okay, what's the caveat then? And he says, well, there's few alligators. I'm out.
Alligators are the pussycats or the Labradors, aren't they, of the crocodile world?
Yeah,
they'll still hurt you. All right.
Because if anybody's gonna get nipped or something like that, it would be me.
Okay.
And my friends will all tell you the same thing. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's gonna be him. Cool, man.
So when you guys do these harbor cleanups that you guys do, what is the most bizarre thing that you have ever found?
Oh, this is the most bizarre thing I've ever found. It's an ankle bracelet from a prisoner. He's cut it. I'm saying he because I'm guessing it was a he. But yeah, that was the best find I've had. We find motorbikes. We've pulled 3 motorbikes out. But that ankle bracelet just absolutely gets shown off. It's on my desk for this reason, for meetings and for presentations. Guess what I found? We also found a whalebone vertebra.
Really?
Yeah, massive thing like this. It was in my garden for ages, but I think my dog peed on it enough and it started cracking. So one of my veteran mates has got it to wire it up again. But a whalebone vertebra is pretty special, as special goes.
No kidding.
That is pretty special, man. Yeah. So
that's amazing. How did you find that?
It was just there. Just
and
there.
you did nothing, like just the one piece, and that was it.
Yep.
Wow, that's even stranger.
Yeah. So, you know, we get all sorts of stuff rolling up on our beaches when the big storms come. We've got the Hawkesbury River, which is south of us. it feeds into our little bay, which is bad because we get fridges, horses, all boats, all sorts of rubbish washes up on our beach. And unfortunately, the human race isn't aware of the destruction that they've created with waste. And we see it all the time underwater. So that's how Scuba Warrior, the cleanup dive, started. I just happened to see off the ferry wharf, which is where we found the whalebone vertebra, and this a scooter, a kid's scooter, the handlebar was sticking upright. Someone had raced it off the ferry wharf, and it had landed upright, but the scooter was rusting. So if you had a fat kid jumping off on a low tide, that would have been horrendous. It would have been horrendous, especially after time. That would have solidified, and it would have been upright and rusted. That would have been horrendous. I went, right, we've got to clean up. This is gross. We've got to pull this this rubbish out and get rid of it. And then our mates at Clean for Shore have the barge, and the council don't charge them to go and take all the rubbish to the tip. So it works really well. And it's 1 day a month, and the people just give a day of their time to come and help. The locals get involved. We had some tourists taking photos and wanting to be a part of it when they bumped into us at one of the wharfs on further around the bay. So it's, it helps to grow awareness as well, just so people see what's coming up. All these bicycles and kids' scooters and skateboards. It's gross, So don't know where it's going, other than we keep doing what we're doing. I mean, there's a great big patch in the Pacific that needs us as well to go clean up. But I think we'll need a bit bigger barge than the Clean for Shore barge for that. What is it, a mile by a mile? Isn't it the great big patch in the Pacific is huge?
Yeah.
Or is it the Atlantic? Is it the Atlantic? It's in one of the oceans has got it. It's just revolting. It's quite sad how much destruction we've created with waste.
Yep. It is pretty bad, the amount of stuff that people just throw into the water on a regular basis and don't care. Like, I mean, even, up in our area during the World War II, they just dumped all kinds of stuff. There's areas up here. There's one of my friends posted a couple of videos of a couple of Jeeps that they the Army just threw out. I mean, military's has got a horrible record for just dumping stuff.
Yeah. Look at Truck Lagoon.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway. But, wrecks are cool. We love to dive wrecks. Come on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, wrecks are cool. Wrecks are definitely my favorite thing to do. Truck Lagoon is definitely on my list.
Mine too. Definitely.
I want to do Truck Lagoon with Peter Mesley, though, who I had on.
Oh, okay. Fantastic. So cool. So that's where we're at. We run them regularly. Summer's coming, thank goodness. Hopefully the rain has gone it's just been such a wet winter. It's been horrible. So hopefully we can pick it up and keep moving, and more clients will come to us because it won't be as cold anymore. It'll be nice and warm. We keep doing what we do, Curtis. We keep doing what we do.
Which is awesome. I mean, you guys are doing amazing things down there. I greatly appreciate having you on the show today. I do have one question, though. Have you ever tracked down who that ankle monitor was attached to? There's got to be a way to figure out who had that ankle monitor on.
I actually I had a copper come on a course. I was teaching an open water course, and I showed it to him. And there is a barcode on it. And he said, honestly, this happens quite a lot, but we catch them. I'm like, it happens a lot, really? Oh my God, that's terrible. But they do catch them, apparently. So fingers crossed, whoever's that belongs to. Well, I'm grateful for it. I think it's fabulous. Like, that is.
It's cool. I would just want to know what the person convicted of did, just because I'm a crime buff too, right? So I would have to track down who, what the thing was in case it was some like real crazy crime that
mafia,
in history, right?
Cartel, drug dealing. Yeah.
Exactly.
Why would he be let out then with that on? That would be terrible. Probably somebody with a minor offense. I don't know. Anyway,
I don't know.
Apparently they catch him.
Crazy stuff on bail. So you never know.
You never know in this world we live in. You never know.
All right. Well, thanks
All right,
again,
mate.
Lindy, for coming on today. It has been awesome having you on, and I wish you really good luck with your new prospect of becoming a charity, and hopefully that sorts out a lot of your funding issues so that you get a lot more people in the water that can benefit from this.
That's it. Thanks so much, Curtis, for being interested in what we do down under. Super cool
Absolutely.
of you
I'm hoping
to
to
invite
come
us
down and
on.
do a trip eventually so I can come down and visit and help
And
you
then we'll
for a
have to
week.
go. We'll have to go and do the crocodiles then.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I do it for sure. Oh, so you'd actually do that with me?
Oh, I don't know. That might be my reason to do it because Curtis is coming. Okay, maybe.
All right. Well, that's good motivation for me to get a trip to Australia.
Australia, definitely. Let's do it. Cool, mate. Thanks so much for your time and your interest.
Yes, absolutely. And thanks to everybody for watching. Remember, please like and subscribe and have a great day. And remember to grab an adventure and live.